Okay, here we go, going hot. Welcome back to Handguns, where we've been talking about Magnums. Now today, the king of the Magnums is the 500 Smith & Wesson. It truly is the most powerful handgun cartridge in the world. And in a hunter's hands, if they're skilled, it's been known to take animals all the way up to an elephant. You know, so if you want power, this is it. Try 350 grain bullet at about 1,750 feet per second, 2,200 foot-pounds of energy. It's just incredible. It is a handful. Now, if shooting elephants, hunting elephants is not your cup of tea, that's fine. Everybody still likes to have a big gun. If you have one of these, you're gonna have pretty much the biggest gun around. Whew. Now that is a handful.
Oh yeah. Now the 500 Smith & Wesson isn't the only 50 caliber cartridge. Now the other one we're talking about is the 50 Action Express. While it doesn't have Magnum in the name, it is a 300 grain bullet traveling at nearly 1,500 feet per second. And when you have an opportunity to shoot the 50 Action Express in perhaps one of the most iconic handguns of all time, the Magnum Research Desert Eagle, like I'm gonna say no, look at this. All right, you ready?
Ready. Now we've possibly left the best for last, or at least the newest. These are revolvers chambered in the .327 Federal Magnum. I'm shooting a Smith & Wesson 632 with low recoil Federal ammunition. It's very high pressure, it's high performance, be a great defensive gun or a trail gun.
Right, I've got a Ruger SP-101 and I'm gonna be shooting full power American Eagle .327 Federal Magnum.
Now the drill we're gonna do is just like we did earlier. We're each gonna shoot 4 shots into the paper and then shoot 2 jugs apiece.
See what happens.
Well, Jim, you give it a whirl now.
All righty.
So there you have it, from the biggest Magnum in the world to the smallest. And whether or not they're your cup of tea or your thing, you still have to admit they are pretty fascinating.
Most people give a lot of thought to what kind of holster they're going to get, and that's good, but you also have to remember that a good holster requires a good foundation, and that means a dedicated gun belt. Leather belts like this have been around forever. They're typically double layered, or they have some sort of reinforcement to keep your gun in place, keeps it from drooping out to the side, and when you make your draw, it stays in place so your gun comes out clean. In recent years, instructor belts like this one from Galco have become very popular. They look like a regular web belt, but they also have reinforcement, so they're quite stiff and they'll give you that same clean draw. Just remember when you're shopping for a gun belt that you have to buy a belt that's larger than your regular dress belt size. And that's your tip of the week. For more shooting advice, pick up the latest issue of Handguns magazine or visit us at handguns.com.